And what is up, guys? Welcome back to Acceleracers for another video. So today I finally decided it is time to mess with these Hyperpods. The ones that I bought, like, what was it? Like the 850 subscriber giveaway when I bought these Hyperpods. And I bought them in a lot for like 75 bucks. It came with the loose Gen 2 RD08, which sold, I think, for like 50 bucks or 60 bucks. I don't remember off the top of my head. Or maybe I traded it for like $60 in value. I'm not 100% sure. But needless to say, these Hyperpods were almost free because there was also a carded RD04 in that lot. It was a pretty good purchase. So I pretty much broke even on the items that I already sold. And now I got stuck with 3 DLX Hyperpods, the Climber, Caterpillar Crawler, and the Rocket Socket Dragster Hyperpod. And then I had 2 of the smaller ones, which were the Dual Driller Hyperpod and the Slam Ram Hyperpod. So they're pretty dusty, pretty beat up, but today I'm gonna be going in and sort of trying to clean them up a bit. And my cleaning skills are pretty much, take a wet paper towel or a rag and try to just scrub off some of the dirt and grime, and then we're gonna clean out their battery compartments because there is some battery acid issues with some of them. But we're gonna try to get some new batteries in there and see if any of them work. I think the Climber Hyperpod was the only one that worked when I got them in. The Dragster and the Octorod Hyperpod, neither one worked. So we're gonna try to clean them out and see if we can get some fresh batteries in there and get them up and running, and then hopefully get them listed on eBay. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. This is not gonna be the most professionally done video because it's mostly gonna be me recording as I'm sort of trying to clean and just keep you guys updated on the process. All right, guys, it's finally time for me to sit down and mess with these Hyperpods. Got a bit of a setup here. Don't want to get battery acid on the table because there is a good bit of battery acid with the Rocket Socket and the Caterpillar Crawler and pause. Who knows what this Slam Ram is doing over here. But as I showed you guys before, all these have a lot of wear on them, scuffs, scratches, dirt, debris. The Climber's missing one of the little black feet on it, but it still works. These two, I don't know if they're gonna work or not. We're gonna have to get in there and see what it looks like in the battery compartment. And these both had some issues too. It's just gonna be a bit of an adventure. So we got some paper down for the battery acid, got a toothbrush, some gloves, not gonna take any chances. So to get started, we're gonna start off with this Rocket Socket Hyperpod. Just really, really dusty. You can't see it all that well in this lighting, but just tons of dust, scratching, and all the tight spaces. That's what the toothbrush is for. And the wheels are pretty beat up. Man, this thing's got some wear on it. Bummer. It's gonna be tough to resell this, but even as a display piece, it's pretty cool. Just, ugh. And then, look at that. Look at all that battery. It looks like snow. Holy smokes. So that's where we're gonna have to get started, is with the battery acid. All right, guys, so we got in here to the Rocket Socket Hyperpod. We already pulled the batteries out, but it was not a pretty sight. Let me tell you what, it looked like, I don't know, it looked like more battery acid than battery in here. So we're gonna get this compartment cleaned up and see if we can put some new batteries in there and get this thing up and running. All right, so it's starting to look a little bit more presentable. We got all the big chunks of battery acid out of there. Unfortunately, there's still just, it's caked in there pretty tight. Even with the toothbrush scrubbing at it, it's not going anywhere, but we got it cleaned up to where we can put new batteries in there. So now I'm gonna try to do a little bit of cleaning around the rest of the Hyperpod, just, clean off the wheels, just, ugh. All right, so we got it cleaned up a little bit. Most of the dust and debris that was stuck in there is pretty much gone. All sorts of funky stuff in there. But for the most part, guys, it just has a lot of wear on it, unfortunately. There's lots of dings and scratches on the wheels and the body of the car. And as you can tell, it's missing the long brown pieces that go on either side. I think I might have one of those pieces stuffed somewhere in the box that it came in, but both of those pieces have broken off, unfortunately. So it's definitely not going to be a complete Hyperpod. It's damaged. Did manage to find one of the edge pieces. I don't even know how it goes on here, honestly. That's actually a great question. I'll probably have to Google a picture one to see it. Surely it goes on like this on the side. Maybe it's missing more than one piece. I have no idea. I don't know. I'll have to look it up, or at least I hope this. Yeah, this has got to be it. It's got to be from this Hyperpod, but who knows? Anyway, so we're gonna put some batteries in there, and let's see if she runs. All right, we've got batteries in, and unfortunately, I didn't even realize it was actually already set to on, so that's probably not a good sign. But the screw on this is pretty stripped as well for anybody who happens to buy this. So here we are. We're gonna try to get this thing going with this purple spine buster. This is Queen. She's gonna be helping us out with our test run today. And honestly, this is one that I never had as a kid. I know that normally, what is it? You hold down this, but well, actually, oh, it must work. Look at that, guys. So it does work. Watch out, cat. Move. Thank you. So let's see if we can get this spine buster in here. These pieces are really rigid. They look like they're supposed to sort of move to the side so that the car can fit in there. But for some reason, the car like does not want to fit. But anyways, I might have to get a smaller car, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Unless I can, okay, I wedged it in there. But there's another piece up front. Let's just see here. Let's just see what goes down here. Nope, it's not working. That's bizarre. Am I doing something wrong? Okay, well, it rolls that way. Okay, let me get a different card and we'll come back and try again. All right, so I think this thing definitely works. We're gonna try this with a nitrium and see if we can get it wedged in there. Nope, nothing. Huh. Gosh, guys, this is bizarre. Oh, there it is. So you have to kind of wedge it at a weird angle. And then, oh, nothing. Son of a gun. And there she goes. Oh, son of a gun. The Dragster Hyperpod works. And that, guys, is absolutely awesome. I never had this one as a kid, so this is like living out a little childhood fantasy. Now I'm wondering if it runs on carpet. Let's see here. You know, I'm really not sure which car it would take to make this thing go. It's almost like I need a longer car, but the spine buster didn't fit. All right, guys, it's been a while since I've used the Hyperpod, but we did figure out how to get it running, so it does run smoothly, and this sucker is fast. All right, guys, now moving on to the next one is the Caterpillar Crawler. Went ahead and got the battery thing undone. Fortunately, not much battery acid at all. This one I think will run smoothly, and the power was off, so I bet you the batteries were just dead in it. And if anybody's making fun of me for wearing gloves, guys, let me tell you what. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but these are some funky toys. You can tell that these were very well loved, and they've got some funky stuff on them, some unknown substances here and there. So I'm not taking any chances. We're wearing gloves. But with the Rocket Socket Hyperpod working, that tells me that probably all of these work just fine. They just needed new batteries. So gonna take a wet cloth to this one and see if we can get some of this dust off, and hopefully we'll get an up and running Caterpillar Crawler. Because I already know the Climber Hyperpod worked from messing with it a couple days ago, or actually when the lot came in, I think that was the only one that worked. All right, guys, so we did a little bit of cleaning on this one, not a whole lot. Tried to get some dust off of the treads on the wheels. It's still not perfect, but this one was in better condition as far as damage to the body goes. Now it does have a bit of a color change because I think it's supposed to be more like, it's hard to explain, but see how the front piece is kind of yellowish on the gray? And this is more like the actual gray. Even this is a little bit, the color's changed on a little bit. I don't know what word I'm looking for. So it definitely has, you know, usual signs of wear on it, and it does have a broken piece. It looks like a little piece of the plastic broke off right there. Noticed that when I was trying to scrub in between there. And we just put some new batteries in there, and let me tell you what, guys, this was definitely not the best designed battery holder. It's hard to explain, but when you take this off, the piece that hooks this in place goes up into the top right here. But the problem is one of the batteries that are, two of them are pointed one way, two of them are pointed the other way. The batteries stick out this way. So you kind of have to like wedge the piece up in the batteries. So just be prepared, anybody. When you change the batteries on one of these suckers, it is a nightmare to get that thing back on there. And whoever happens to buy this, as soon as you unscrew this, this whole thing is going to pop right out, and you're gonna have to wedge it back in there once you change the batteries. Just an FYI for anybody who buys this. But let's go ahead, actually, let's turn it on first. All right, so we are now on. We've got our nitrium. Let's see, guys, moment of truth. Does it work? If we can get this poor nitrium has been through it today. Let me tell you what. Come on, squeeze in there. Oh, you're kidding, it doesn't work? Oh, that's tough. Wow, that is a bummer. So wow, so this Caterpillar Crawler does not work. That is a bummer. Even with this thing, in here, it does not work. And obviously the pieces are pretty old, as you can hear when the car slaps in there. It is not too fluid. That is a bummer. And it gets worse, guys. I'm not gonna lie. As I was trying to mess with these pieces right here, this one broke off completely. And fortunately, this doesn't have anything to do with the mechanism, I don't think. So I'm just gonna leave it in there for now. But piece definitely broke. So just a reminder, you gotta be really careful with these when they haven't been protected too well, because everything is really brittle. But this is what should be controlling it, and it's not working for us. I might take the back off and see if I can readjust the batteries. There might be an issue going on back there. Okay, so I looked at it a little bit more, and I watched some videos online, and I didn't realize, but it's actually missing an entire piece that goes over here, like a web net that goes over the top of the Hyperpod. So it's actually missing that whole entire piece, along with this piece that I broke just a little bit ago trying to squeeze a car in there. And I don't think that missing this piece over here would really affect it all that much, because I'm pretty sure the only thing that really matters is just this little pedal right here that the car's wheel goes on. So I think these are just to hold it in place. At least that's the way it is with the dragster Hyperpod. As long as this is pushed down, it goes. All right, guys, so I spent a little bit of time on these, more so on the dual driller Hyperpod, and this one works just fine. For example, however, it does not roll by itself. You know, like if you push it, it stops after a short time. Something about the drills gets caught up. But if you put just a little bit of pressure on it, it rolls perfectly fine. The drills keep rolling as long as you need them to. But it's just if you roll by itself, it stops. So the dual driller Hyperpod, I untwined a bunch of, I'm assuming it was carpet or hair particles or something. I really don't even want to guess, out of the drills. So it works a little bit better. And as far as this, it just has a lot of wear on it though, honestly. I mean, see all that dust and debris in there? Just a nightmare. And as far as this Slam Ram Hyperpod goes, guys, I'm not even gonna mess with it, honestly. Just, it looks like this thing was dug out from underground. It is absolutely filthy. I feel like I need to go get a tetanus shot just from touching it, if I'm being honest. So I don't even think I'm gonna mess with this. I think I'm just gonna toss this Slam Ram Hyperpod. It is just absolutely filthy and kind of vile, to be honest. And the ram does not shoot, even though it does have the ram. The ram is just as filthy. It really does look like it was stored underground for a couple years. So I think I'm just gonna toss the Slam Ram, and the dual driller I will probably sell. I'll sell it for fairly cheap, probably just enough to cover shipping, because it's still pretty beat up. And this back piece doesn't close either on it. Unless you keep it like in an upright position, it just falls down. So that's what's going on with these two. But so now moving on to this Climber Hyperpod, guys, as you can see, it's got a broken piece on the top of it where it snapped right off. It looks like definitely a bunch of wear on this as well. It was missing one of the feet right here, but it does work. So see, it does work just fine. So I'm just gonna try to clean it up a little bit. And these are all just gonna be sold as is. So we did some minor scrubbing on it. I'm not gonna invest a huge ton of time into it because it is pretty beat up already. It's got a lot of wear, little holes right here. It looks like, you know, just well loved back in the day. Gosh, I keep accidentally closing it and it keeps turning on and it scares the bejesus out of me every time it does. So this is the Climber Hyperpod. It works perfectly fine. Just some broken pieces on it, you know, missing that that foot. Where is it at? Right there, missing that foot, and then this broken piece on the top, and just a lot of wear. Other than that, works perfectly. A pretty cool Climber Hyperpod. I think I'm definitely going to do some videos on it if possible. We'll see if we can't do some fun videos. You know, I know there's some outdated videos that are, you know, caterpillar crawler versus everything, Climber Hyperpod versus everything. I think it would be fun to do something like that. And guys, we have good news, fear not. So after messing with this for a little bit, my dad helped me with it for a little bit. This caterpillar crawler Hyperpod does work. However, there's something wrong with it as far as the wiring, where something is not connecting 100% to this front, to this front switch is what we'll call it. So it doesn't work when it's flat, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this with the camera in my hand. If you hold it kind of at an angle, something about it makes it work better. All right, so this is not my best angle, you have to excuse me. But if you hold it at a certain way and you hold the battery pack in, of course it's not gonna do it now that we're on camera, but it does turn on. It turned on several times for us. We did not get it to turn on with the car inside, just by manually messing with the pedal. All right guys, so we found the position that it worked in. It was something about when the camera's on, it just doesn't want to cooperate. Come on. Look at that, guys. It works. You just have to hold it in this exact position. It'll run all day long. But the second you flatline it out, nothing. It is the most bizarre thing. So like I said, I just think something's off with the wiring in here. Probably something's not connected when it's fully extended. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. I went ahead and got these Hyperpods listed on my eBay page, or at least I believe I got the dragster and the caterpillar crawler listed on my eBay page. And I'm probably gonna film a video with the climber because I think that one's pretty cool. I think I can make a fun little video with that one. And the dual driller one, I'll have to get listed at some point. But if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button for me, subscribe to the Acceleracers Hub for more Acceleracers related content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.